Hello all, and welcome to tonight's beer review. Well, I guess this afternoon's beer review is just a little bit darker than usual. It's finally cooling off a little bit. Temperature is finally lower than 90 at the peak of the day. And it's cloudy, so it's still humid though. But I'm going to be doing this review today, and I'm going to dub this review the there's still no Marzen/Oktoberfest beers for sale. This year's round of Oktoberfest Marzen beers, and I am just having a huge ass hankering for something malty and sort of medium dark. And so I went to Whole Foods, and I ended up getting a local beer because I haven't seen this one for sale yet. And so I decided to pick it up. A little bit on the pricey side. It was about $15 with tax included, which is about $3 to $4 more. Well, actually, more like $2.50 to $3 more expensive than our average local brewery. This is Kohola. I've reviewed beers from them before out of my growler. They are the brewery that has taken over Maui Brewing's old location in Lahaina. And they do a lot of local brewing themselves. So this is, I guess, their flagship. And it sounds pretty much right up the alley. This is Red Sand Amber Ale, in honor of the Red Sand Beach on Maui. Comes from, I guess, the rocks being red, so the sand ends up red. Okay, getting distracted there. This is 5.5 ABV, 32 IBU. So about on par for bitterness units for the American Red Amber Ale style. So let's go and read this. Red Sand Ale is an American-style amber ale that is medium-bodied with bready malty flavors and aromas. It has hop aromas of earth and spice from the late kettle fuggle additions. This beer is named after the pocket Red Sand Beach in Maui. So, yeah. What was I going to say here? I can't recall what I was going to say. Let's just get to it, because it's almost 3 minutes in already. So, Fuggles. Old World style hopping using dry hopping. So, Old World hops using New World hopping techniques. I actually haven't tasted this yet. I know usually I go and do a taste the week before I actually do a can or bottle review from a sixer. But, I'm just getting to the point where I just want to get things over and done with. There's just so many good beers to review. So, kind of a dark amber on the dark side for the style, but still within style guidelines. Amber with brownish overtones, almost looks like a clearer Dr. Pepper. With a off-white to beige head. That is frothy. Redolent of spice. Some floral notes. And under that, a base of good bready maltiness. Just good bready maltiness right there. With some slight caramel notes to it as well. Nicely bittering hop finish. Front is chewy. just a wee bit. Hopping is definitely on the heavy side of the American definition of an amber ale. In that there is sort of resinously bitter, not overly so. Let me close this because babies are starting to make some noise here. Not overly so, but just enough that it lingers on the palate in the long finish. And the hops are it's almost hop forward. There's still malts for the very first part of that forward, that hits you in the face. But afterwards, sort of tannic bitterness. Kind of overwhelms those nicely round brown bread notes. I kind of think that this is overhopped for my taste. And part of that is just my own personal taste leanings. I tend to lean more towards the Irish red style. I really want it to be malt forward. An IBU rating of about 15 to 20 is more my game for this sort of malting style here, and rather than 32. You just get like this brief flash of brown bread, some nice Maillard notes there towards the malting, that sort of toastiness, and then the hops kind of take over, and it's perfectly fine Fuggle hops. It's old world style, but it's just, when it's done dry hopped, it adds a lot of bittering aspects without as much of the aromatic and nuanced side of the hops. So you're kind of left with some earthiness, tannic notes, tea-like notes, definitely resin notes in the long finish. But that's not really what I want when I'm drinking an amber ale. I want it to kind of bring out a sort of tea note and earthy note, but I don't want resin notes in amber ale. And this is, again, my personal taste, because this is not a very narrow style. Also, too, this is not a very complex beer, but it shouldn't be. An amber ale shouldn't be trying to go and wow you with a lot of taste nuance. It's supposed to be something that hits certain notes along the way and, is just drinkable. And this is definitely drinkable. But, and this just may be me really having that hankering for Marzens right now, for nice, really malt-forward beers. That kind of is making me be a little bit harsh on this, because I don't want to say that this is a bad beer. It is not a bad beer by any means. It is one that is very well hopped for the style. And definitely, if you want to see old world style, then when I mean old world style, I mean, old world varietals of hops. I'm pretty sure these Fuggles are grown in America like most of the hops used in American beer nowadays. Definitely give this a shot. This might be your bag. This might be your cup of tea. I went there. For me, not so much. So, I look forward to trying more things from this brewery. It's probably going to be mostly from the from off the draft into the growler, mainly just because they're fairly small, and I believe that they've only canned this so far. Maybe one other thing I haven't been following. Definitely give them a shot if I ever win the lottery. Arise out of my glorious Spartan poverty. I hope to go and make a visit to this brewery along with all the other breweries in this wonderful state of ours. And that is your local beer review for tonight, folks. Red Sand Amber Ale by Kohola Brewery. It's an amber ale, American style. If you like it on the hoppy side, this will probably be your thing. If you're like me and you want it to be a little bit more on the malt forward style, it's probably not going to be your thing. That is your beer review for tonight. Cheers.